On Capitol Hill today. It was day 3 of confirmation hearings for Judge Amy Coney Barrett. She continued to embarrass Democrats like Dick Durbin, who tried to play her against the president.
The president can unilaterally deny you're not going to answer yes or no.
Well, Senator, you've asked a couple different questions about what the president might be able to unilaterally do, and I think that I really can't say anything more than I'm not going to answer hypotheticals.
It strains originalism. If the clear wording of the Constitution establishes a right and you will not acknowledge it.
Well, Senator, it would strain the canons of conduct, which don't permit me to offer off-the-cuff reactions or any opinions outside of the judicial decision-making process. It would strain Article 3, which prevents me from deciding legal issues outside the context of cases and controversies, and as Justice Ginsburg said, it would display disregard for the whole judicial process.
Absolutely fantastic. Dick Durbin outclassed and outsmarted at every turn by somebody with true intelligence. And the latest polling from Politico shows that a majority of voters, at least a plurality, want ACB, Amy Coney Barrett, to be confirmed. That's 48% up. About 10 points up, I should say, from when the nomination process began. For more on this and the state of the race, we're joined by Dick Morris, presidential political strategist and a Newsmax contributor. Also joined by Lee Carter, president of Maslansky and Partners. Guys, thanks as always for being there. Lee, the more Democrats talk, the sillier they look. Amy Coney Barrett is really a fine choice for the high court, yes?
I think she is demonstrating that she is absolutely qualified and is right for the job. And I think that anybody who would suggest otherwise isn't watching. I think the issue that people have is with the process. And when the process isn't working in their favor, they're questioning Mitch McConnell. They're questioning whether or not this should even happen in the first place. But no one can argue that she isn't qualified for the job. And that is very, very clear. I think that what we're seeing right now is a lot of people are getting hurt in this moment. A lot of the Democrats who are attacking her, and I think they're seeing this, a lot of the Democrats who are attacking her, actually, it looks bad on them. And so I think that you're seeing that they're going to be reeling back on that and really trying instead to focus on the process, because it's a lose-lose to attack her.
No, absolutely correct. I think they look sillier and more childish every time they do attack her. Dick, let me pivot with you. We're seeing stories out there about Democrat early voting advantage. Some stories have it 2-1 over Republicans. But then you have voter registration, a decided advantage for Republicans around the country, like in states like Florida, where they are way out registering Democrats. And then you got long lines in places like Texas, and then the enthusiasm gap. Biden and Harris can't draw flies, but Trump is out there at airports drawing thousands and thousands of people. Can you make sense of all that?
First of all, Pence does draw flies on his hair.
Well done.
Oh, ha, ha. Okay, no, I got that. Well, very, very good.
Getting back to the situation.
He's not on the no-fly list. I got it. Yeah.
I think that having a woman up there standing by the panel and handling herself so well really underscores the point that Trump has appointed a very qualified woman. And since he has a big problem with female voters, this is a very helpful thing. And I think that we all just take for granted, yeah, he's nominating a woman to fill a woman's vacancy. And I think most people did take it for granted. When they actually meet this woman and actually hear from her and say, my God, she's terrific, I think that really is going to help Trump a great deal.
Yeah, and about all of the different factors that we are seeing playing out right now, how do we make sense of where we are in the race, Dick?
Well, I think Trump had a bad week last week. There goes my earbud. Hope I can hear you. Trump had a bad week last week. He was in the hospital, and the virus became the major issue because it wasn't the economy, and all everybody thought about was the virus. And Trump is two people. As a president and an advocate, people love him. As a personality and a temperament, he has a lot of problems. And when he's in the hospital and can't be president, can't talk about issues, he's hurting. But Monday and Tuesday, and I think today, he really recovered, I think, a great deal. And that's why Rasmussen has him up from 12 behind last week to 5 behind today. And I think he's on a roll. The other thing I think, Chris, is that Biden's campaign is so stale. All he can talk about is the masks. And it's the same thing he's been saying for months and months. And there's no liveliness to it. There's no strength to it. Trump has court packing. He has Amy Barrett doing a great job. He has the economy moving up smartly. He has himself as an example that this virus is curable and you can recover from it. You shouldn't be hiding in your basement. Those are all new issues for Trump. And one of the things in politics I've always found is, what do you do differently in the last 2 weeks that you didn't do in the rest of the campaign? Trump has an answer to that. Biden doesn't.
Well, Lee, last thing I want to have for you, only got about 60 seconds left here, but I want you to weigh in on this bombshell from the Post today, talking about the revelations that it turns out that Beijing Biden knew exactly what his son was doing over there in Ukraine, contrary to what he's been telling media and the American people this entire campaign.
You know, I think it's going to be less about the bombshell itself and more about the reaction to it. I think that people are going to have a more negative reaction to the fact that Twitter is blocking these kinds of stories than they are to the story itself. I think it just gives voice, and it's going to energize conservatives to feel like they're not able to get their side of the story. They're not able to have their story told, that they're being, muted. And I think that's a real problem. And people need to think about that as they go forward, and what news they are allowed to share and what they're not. And I think that's going to be the bigger issue than the story itself.
Dick Morris, Lee Carter, thank you very much, guys. Appreciate you guys being here.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.